So good morning, welcome to Try or Die Garage. As promised a couple of weeks ago, the plan today is that I'm going to wire and fire the bike and hopefully get it running and running okay. I might try and take it round the block, but I still haven't figured out the gear selector yet, and I don't want to make the video too long. I reckon probably 10 or 12 minutes seems to be the maximum amount of time that anybody can listen to me fucking drone on. But yeah, the plan is I'm going to put the wiring loosely on the bike, so I'm not fixing it because as I've said before, I want to strip the loom down and put some nylon braided sleeve over the loom just to tidy it up, make it a bit more flexible, and also put some heat protection where necessary. But because I've been so slack with putting content up, I thought I would just see if we can get this wired and fired, if for nothing else other than entertainment purpose. So I hope you guys enjoys the video. As normal, if you do, please like, share and subscribe, and also I welcome any and all commentary, so both good and bad. So let's get into it. I'll set the camera up and I'll probably try and move it around a bit, but at the same time I don't want to bore the shit out of everybody as I kind of plug the harness in. I'm sure most will be just interested in trying to see if it will fire. So let's get on with it. Cheers. Right, so let's begin. I've already put the battery in. As you know, I do have the harness kind of all it's all marked up, so I know what needs to go where. So yeah, just connecting all of these up. So that needs to go on the positive on the battery, that needs to go on the negative on the battery. What I might do is actually fix it to its proper bracket, which is there. So I didn't film all of that wiring fucking shenanigans. I hate wiring, and even though it was perfectly reasonably well labelled, it's such a nightmare, and it's one of the reasons why I want to strip the fucking loom, because the way they do it from the factory is it's wound up so tight that effectively sections of cable become solid. So to try and maneuver them around the frame, to try and manipulate them, is just a pain in the arse. So I haven't even bothered. It's basically, I've dumped it where I think it's gonna hang out of the way, and that's pretty much it. I have tested it, so I'll just turn it on. There we go, it's on. Hit run, and there we go. So everything's plugged in. The next thing I've got to plug in and figure out is the coils. Now the issue with the coils, so I've got the wiring diagram and I know which coils go to which plugs, and I know what's the signal wire and what's the watt wire, but the actual spade terminals on the fucking coil are not marked in any way. And when you look at the wiring diagram, there isn't an orientation of the spades or the terminals to the coil, so I can look at it and say, okay, that's the left side of the coil, that's the right side of the coil, that will go, that will go. So basically I'm going to fit the coils and then just fucking plug them in and see what happens. I did ask on a forum if it made any difference, and yeah, it does. Basically because you want the main winding and yeah, whatever. It makes a fucking difference. So I need to figure out what the correct wiring and position is going to be for the coil. So I'm going to fit the coils. Again, I'm not going to fill that because it's so much faff and fiddling, but I'll fit the coils. Yeah, and then I'll come back to you. Right, so not sure if you can see me properly from down here, but I figured out that the coils actually do have a positive and a negative on them. I've just been inside, double checked on a few forums, and for Suzuki it seems that the orange and white, which goes, there's one to each coil, is the actual positive. So I have hooked the coils up. Anyway, it works. The little light comes on. So I've got spark to all 4 plugs, which is brilliant. So the next thing is to actually put the carbs on the bike and give it a go. Right, so I have got the carbs on the bike. I don't have them secure on the bike. In other words, I haven't actually put the hose clamps or the clips or whatever, so there might be a little bit of leakage through the carbs. There is still fuel in the carbs from when I did a little bench test a few days ago, so I'm going to give it a little bit of choke, turn it on, press start, and then run. What? Alright, maybe not enough fuel in the carbs, so let me get my my IV. Definitely barked off a couple of times. Let me just open the tap a little bit more. Still no leaks, still looking all right. I think it's getting a bit too much fuel. It's definitely barking off. I have a feeling it's getting a little bit too much fuel because when I open the choke, it doesn't bark off. But if I leave it for a minute to settle, then put the idle screw in a bit. Hang on. Right, so 1 and 2 are not firing. Now, have I got this? I shouldn't have this. It's just because it was definitely. Let's try again. So 1 and 2 are not firing, but 1 and 2 come from different fucking coils. So 1 and 4 is coil number 1, and 2 and 3 is coil number 2, according to the wiring diagram. I think if anybody has got any suggestions, yeah, let me put this on pause a bit and fuck about and see what happens. But at least we're running a bit. So I've managed to get it running. Kind of on and off, and it seems to be carb related, and I give it a bit of draw through. Yeah, I think it's definitely carb related. So I'm going to go with a win for that for the moment. So I thought what I'd do while I'm fucking here and the bike is a little bit warm is just try a compression test. See what's what. One. Oh no, I've already got it on. Right. Right. Let's see what we've got. 125, maybe 130. That's not great. I thought because it would have been warmer, because when I tested it cold, they were all 125-ish, 130. So with a little bit of heat, I would have thought they would have got a bit more compression than that. But let's try one of the cold cylinders. Yeah, same, about 130. which is a bit disappointing, but maybe it just needs a good long run to get some heat, and also to get the rings loosened up. I mean, this bike hasn't been on the road since 2019, or perhaps earlier, so not ideal. But anyway, yeah, at least it's fairly even. So, thank you for watching Try or Die Garage. I'm going to go and say that's a sort of 50-50 success. I did get all 4 cylinders to run. I'm pretty sure it's definitely not the spark, it's definitely the carbs, so it looks as if I'm going to have to bite the bullet and send them away and have them refurb basically. They could probably do with new needle and seats. I could do it myself, and I have done it before, put new needle and seats and bits and pieces, new jets, but it's just such a bastard, you know. I would rather pay somebody 70 or 80 quid. They can clean them, put in a new kit, send them back, and hopefully they'll bolt on and be fine. If they're not fine, then it's moving on to troubleshooting, and I hope to fuck that it's not valves, or some such nonsense, so not getting enough pressure in the cylinder. But I was getting 130 in that cylinder that didn't run, so I guess I'd have to do a leak down test. But anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Tell your mates, and as always, please comment, good, bad, ugly, I don't mind. Tell me where I'm going wrong, give me some guidance. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers.